How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel where I have a final project due in about 9 more hours, but I just wanted to talk about what's going on recently with the internet and how it almost feels like we are, not even really feel like, if we keep going down this path, the internet as we know it, the internet we grew up with, will just be gone like that. And can this be reversed? I don't know. I hope so, but it looks like we're going full steam ahead to this grim reality. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you live under a rock, there have been new laws or legislations going around, however you want to call it, mostly in the UK, where a lot of websites and applications are now demanding you provide your ID to access the website. And honestly, like, what are we doing, man? I even saw a screenshot of Spotify asking for someone's ID, and I let out the biggest sigh you can imagine when I saw this. The poor guy couldn't even listen to Kendrick without giving his ID. But I've been seeing a lot of takes about this, and a lot of them have been pretty terrible. It's all just echoing the sentiment that they're doing this for the children, and my goodness, I wish I was as dense as some of the people spewing this take. Life must be so simple for some of these people, but we'd be lucky if they were being 10% truthful about doing this for kids, even 5%. But this is nothing more than a complete invasion and violation of our privacy. There will soon be no anonymity on the internet at the rate we're going. Websites that you visit, if you want to play online and troll and be toxic, your face will soon be tied to that, and you can't be anonymously trolling around on games anymore. And there'll be losers being like, oh, don't be toxic online then. And like, yeah, no shit, but sometimes if I want to rage bait on degenerate Reddit posts, why does that need to come back to me? It's a one and done thing I don't think about after. Now, this has mainly been an issue in the UK from what I've been seeing, but the US just got their first announcement of something like this hitting us, and it looks like it's starting on YouTube. I think around early August, YouTube will now guess what your age is and then lock your account until you verify your age. I don't know if it's locking or maybe restricting you from certain things on the site, but that's coming. And while this is bad already, it only gets worse once you find out that none of this is being done by actual people, but it's being done by AI. And AI will scrub through your account and look through your searches, your history, and deduce whether you are a child or if you're an adult. Now, I hope I don't need to be the one to tell you how scuffed this is. I think virtually everyone is gonna get flagged, honestly, by the bot for one reason or another. If you watch video game let's plays or commentaries, if you're playing a childhood game and you look up a video about it. Like, maybe just because you're watching me, I'm playing a video game, maybe I'll be the reason you get flagged, I'm sorry in advance. But there is so much that can go wrong by just letting an AI guess your age. Even if you set your account age to one of an adult, the bot will not take that into consideration. And I've been seeing people say that it's not going to be as micromanaged and dystopian as people are making it out to be. They probably won't do anything about it. And I just have two things to say about that sentiment going around. And that is, one, I didn't know so many people are working on the ground floor of this operation and know what they're going to do or not do with our IDs. And two, even if they don't do anything right now, it's just the act of them taking our IDs and tying our face to everything we do online going forward. It's just so inappropriate. And to use kids needing to be protected is simply disgusting. I wanted to make a whole separate video talking about this, but I guess I'll just make it a point for this video, but it is not the internet's job to raise children. I'm so sick of this age we live in, of parents not parenting anymore, and parents just slapping an iPad on their kids to get them to stop crying or to keep them still from causing havoc wherever they go. Parents have gotten lazy. Point blank, I won't sugarcoat it. Parents are too concerned with being friends with their child and being hip and cool and letting their child learn themselves and figure themselves out instead of instilling values into them, instead of guiding them, disciplining them. It is so stupid, so dangerous, and so embarrassing to let your child be raised by the internet and develop speech and mannerisms based on the internet lingo that they hear. And make no mistake, I grew up around the internet too, and a lot of my humor and a lot of my perception of things I have gotten from YouTubers I watched when I was a kid. But I also had parents that checked me when I would say something stupid I heard online, and they would correct me if that wasn't okay. If I mimicked something reckless I saw online, I'd be whipped back into shape so fast. So I understand times are different. Kids aren't playing with toys as much like when I was a kid. I get they are more dependent on technology. Kids can have iPads, but for the love of God, don't give them that brain-melting poison of Cocomelon or whatever the new slop is for children. Kids need to actually have screen time restrictions. Parents need to actually have the balls to put their kids in check and discipline them. Us as adults should not have to make our experience online inferior and inconvenience ourselves because parents are too lazy to keep their kid off the internet. Safe spaces for kids online isn't a bad thing, but there are so many areas that don't need to be marked as a safe space for kids and should just be more monitored by the parents at home. It shouldn't be the website's responsibility to protect your child. Spotify shouldn't block access from musicians like, I don't know, Sexy Red or The Weeknd. Parents should just look over at their kids' phones or iPads and tell them to not listen to that if that's a rule they have for their kid. But don't make me fork over my ID because you're a lazy parent. Parents need to put their kids on websites made for kids if they want to shelter them so bad. Like, dude, I remember when I was a little kid, I'd be on DisneyChannel.com playing the Lilo and Stitch games, like the one where you had to stack a bunch of sandwiches and get it as tall as you can. I hope I'm not the only one that remembers this game. Or the Zack and Cody game where you're running up and down the floors of the hotel not trying to get caught by Mr. Mosby. But man, dude, even Cool Math Games was such a gem when I was a kid. But no, kids want to browse Reddit and NSFW Discord channels now. Just don't let your kid have Reddit on his device. It's literally not that hard. These phones and tablets have app restriction settings you can place with a password only you can see. Just parent your kid. And to the people saying just use a VPN to bypass it, it's no big deal. I just don't understand how people can just not care that their privacy is being invaded and that their face is now associated with their online activity. And I get some people think that they have nothing to hide, so there's nothing to be afraid of, but this isn't about being afraid. I would hope you have nothing to hide. I would hope you're not a weirdo, but it's just the principle, the decency of having privacy while exploring the internet, our freedom to do such a thing. It's just unfortunate that the internet as we knew it is ceasing to exist, and people either don't care or they're defending this, and everything is just being censored or doctored or deleted. Algorithms are being manipulated to push certain views. And I'm not even being political. I've never been political. This might be the most political you'll ever see me get, and this is not about politics. I just enjoy my privacy. I don't want to be surveillanced if I don't need to be. I like my anonymity online, and it would be great to keep it that way. This YouTube change will most likely flag me, and it'll flag a bunch of you guys watching, even if you're over 18, just because you watch silly, goofy content. It'll just assume you are a child. And you might need to fork over your ID to YouTube at some point. I hope they see this pushback and overturn this update, but we'll just have to wait and see. That's all I wanted to talk about though. Thanks for listening if you made it to the end. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and be well.